The light-skinned man could scarcely believe his eyes. Overcome with uncertainty, he picked up a small stone and threw it toward the dark-skinned man, who was still kneeling and facing away. At the instant the stone struck his back, the dark-skinned man sprang to his feet in sudden fear. He turned around, and there, at that moment, their eyes met. Both men were seized by overwhelming terror at the sight of one another, and without hesitation they fled in opposite directions, neither daring to look back. Night fell, and each man went into hiding on his own, both struggling to comprehend what they had witnessed. When morning came, without any prior intention, both emerged from their hiding places and returned to the very spot where they had first encountered one another. Once again, the two men perceived each other. The two men now faced one another, their thoughts racing as each struggled to comprehend what stood before him. Slowly they moved in cautious circles, eyes locked, minds filled with wonder and uncertainty. The dark-skinned man soon realized that communication between them would be a serious challenge. He looked around, picked up a stick, and began pointing toward the collection of items the light-skinned man was carrying, which included bear hide, handcrafted shoes, and selected fruits. In response, the light-skinned man surrendered his belongings, allowing the dark-skinned man to inspect them. A short while later, as the dark-skinned man examined the items, the light-skinned man let out a groan to signal that he should withdraw from his possessions. He did this while boldly advancing forward, causing the dark-skinned man to step back away from the cargo. The light-skinned man then picked up the stick the dark-skinned man had dropped and began pointing toward one of the stone tablets. He was clearly fascinated by the drawings. Before long, the dark-skinned man used hand gestures to invite him to sit beneath a tree, where he presented his drawings depicting the surrounding mountains, animals, and plants. From this encounter onward, the two men grew close and came to value one another's companionship. To communicate, they relied on sounds and gestures that reflected whatever they wished to express. For example, blowing air through their mouths to signify wind, mimicking the behavior of an animal to refer to it, or pointing to the mouth to indicate hunger. The two men spent their entire days learning from each other's experiences, and so they both grew in insight and understanding. They also developed skills through collaboration, such as building shelters using reeds, and ultimately using stones. The two men were also visibly happy as they both walked this journey together. They never stopped walking. 10 years had passed, and the two men had become profoundly reliant on sign language for communication, having perfected it over time. Interestingly, they were not mute. They simply could not express themselves using conventional speech. One day, during their usual walk, they arrived at the edge of a cliff. The precipice stretched endlessly in every direction, with no discernible beginning or end. Below them lay a vast, uninterrupted forest, and nothing else. The light-skinned man gestured to his companion, signaling that they should inscribe this extraordinary sight onto a stone tablet. It was a rare phenomenon, one neither had ever witnessed before. Both were convinced that perhaps they had reached the edge of the earth, and with it, the end of their interminable journey.